Good afternoon, world of friends and foes yet to become friends. On my other channel, I am usually Book Dragon Erin, but today I'm just Erin Rogoff Official, your normal suburban girl who loves books and coffee and dogs and hiking and a lot of other things. Since it's Monday, you know what that means. Movie Mondays! For Movie Mondays, I will be discussing the short film A Hollow Tree. The short film was a full-length movie released early in 2023, but I only saw the short film of the movie on YouTube. Now, I think that was an extended trailer, but I could be wrong. As far as the genre goes, post-apocalyptic fiction, science fiction, horror. Horror having to do with skinwalkers. The story takes place in a post-apocalyptic Ireland, and if you know me, you know my name means Ireland in Celtic. So if it has anything to do with Irish culture or anything Irish in general, you know I'm definitely going to watch it. Or listen to it or read it. So it doesn't matter if it's a movie or a film or a TV show or pictures of Ireland or anything. I just love Ireland so much. This movie/short film stars Tom Kerrisk. He's an Irish actor, singer, and musician. He plays the part of Kent. And then Matthew O'Hare plays the part of Danny. Cathal Fitzpatrick is the director and the writer. And as far as an in-depth summary, Tom Kerrisk plays a single dad to his son Danny, played by Matthew O'Hare, in a post-apocalyptic United Kingdom where literally everything is in short supply, from gasoline and food to people and even animals. After a nuclear explosion that wipes out 99.9% of the world and turns the remaining living humans into skinwalkers, Kent goes out hunting for food every single day to provide for his son and is hunting the skinwalker whose territory is in the forest beyond their farmhouse. He spots a skinwalker and runs for his life. Smart move. From stealing coats off dead bodies to pillaging picked-over abandoned shops in town, Kent and Danny go hunting, and Danny asks his dad how to teach him how to survive on his own, possibly because he knows Kent won't be there forever. Honestly, that's another smart move, coming from a light survivalist like myself. While foraging for whatever they can find, the two enter an abandoned building and find menial remains of food, but Tom gets the nozzle of a gun to the back of his head, but doesn't know if there are any bullets. He and Danny are threatened by an old man who wants them gone from his house because the skinwalkers will most definitely have followed them. The old man's granddaughter appears, noting how skinny Danny is, and she gives the father-son duo 2 cans of chicken soup. Tom wants to reassure the old man that not all people left in the world are bad, and he returns later to give the old man cough syrup to ease the pain in his aching lungs. Danny, having gone with his dad, hears a skinwalker crying out and shouting, and he thinks it's a real human needing help. Kent grabs Danny, fear in his eyes, and they run for their lives through the forest to the abandoned farmhouse they call home. Now, according to basic mythology of skinwalkers, if you hear them, they've already started hunting the unending hunt for you, and they know where you are. So run for your life or face a gory death by the hands of the skinwalkers. The full-length movie explains the skinwalkers. Please don't give me any spoilers because I do want to watch the movie in the eventual future. Now for my thoughts on this short film. The first thing I took note of were the special effects of this short horror film. I absolutely loved Quiet Hunter Kent foraging for anything that could be described as a meal, and then when he spotted a skinwalker hunting him through the scope of his .22 caliber rifle, I loved how the motion went from normal to a sped up pace through eerie but low-key special effects. It was as if time slowed for Kent, but it was only the skinwalker that could move so quickly. You only get to see the Skinwalker through the scope of a gun, but even that sends so many chills up your spine, or at least it did for mine. And this was a horror movie that gave me adrenaline, and I crazily loved it. In most films and movies I've seen about skinwalkers, they're absolutely and horrifyingly terrifying and nightmare-inducing. In Until Dawn, one of my all-time favorite video games to watch the gameplay of via Markiplier, the skinwalkers are shells of humans who feed on each other and anything at all that moves. Here in A Hollow Tree, the skinwalkers take the forms of starved humans and imitate their voices without raspy screeches. It's truly spooky for someone who appreciates horror films that can make you on edge without seeing the monster in full. So it gave me an adrenaline rush from time to time, and I loved it. When I watch a movie or a TV show on the rare occasion, because I love reading so many more books than watching movies, I do enjoy putting myself in the situations of the characters to better understand them and what they're fictionally going through. If I were a character in this film, I would want to be someone like Kent. He's a determined fighter battling unlikely odds. Odds for food and life in general. From the short film, A Hollow Tree, he doesn't abandon his son. If he abandons his son in the full-length movie, I don't want to know because I want to watch the movie for myself, so again, please no spoilers. He's a genuine survivalist, and Kent remains a good man in a bad era. When food and medicine are scarce, he still gives to those in need, and in that regard, he has so much of my respect. Thus, I would want to be someone like Kent if I were living in, say, a post-apocalyptic United States. From the little I've seen of skinwalkers in the Hollow Tree film, I wonder what I'll see when I watch the full-length movie. Are skinwalkers scarier than mere glances? Do they get their own backstories of how they came to be? Do they morph into humans from skinwalker form and back to human again? What makes them so dangerous? What is their weakness? How are they different and unique compared to other movies under the skinwalker trope? Another question for myself. Will I watch more horror movies starring skinwalkers as a theme? That's an absolute freaking yes, and I can tell you that now, even though I've seen very few skinwalker-themed movies. Watching the short film, A Hollow Tree, I am once again fascinated by skinwalker lore, and I will definitely be going into my walk-in closet, where I have a shelf of all things paranormal in the non-fiction sense, because I'm so fascinated by that, and yes, there are skinwalker novels too. After this, I might as well go rewatch Markiplier's entire Until Dawn walkthrough just to see more skinwalker jump scares and uncanny action. Who's with me? Raise your hand. If I had to compare this short film to a book, I would say this is a mix between some unwritten book by Darcy Coates and co-written by Stephen King. Stephen King is the master of American horror novels, and Darcy Coates, my favorite author of all time, is the Australian equivalent to Stephen King, whom I am obsessed with. But unlike Stephen King, Darcy Coates gives all the characters deserving a happily ever after, and if I had to be specific with a book that gives off Hollow Tree vibes, I would actually say this film kind of reminds me a little bit of Hunted by Darcy Coates. No surprise there. A monster on the hunt within an eerily quiet and endless forest, characters so far from each other, etc. Even though Hunted takes place in a contemporary Australia, I still thought of that book when I watched A Hollow Tree. Now, nothing would be complete without a book recommendation on any of my channels here on YouTube, so if you're a fan of the Hollow Tree short film, I would recommend you read Hunted by Darcy Coates, the book. The author is amazing, everything about it is just so thrilling, you will not be disappointed, so moving on. Do I consider this short film a favorite? No, but I can still appreciate the special effects and plot anyways. Will I continue to watch and review short films I find on YouTube? Absolutely. I love what I call rainy day movie day, where I watch short films on YouTube and review them here on my channel, Erin Rogoff Official. This film was suggested to me by my brother, so here I am, having watched the film and reviewing it, and I highly recommend it to anyone who enjoys post-apocalyptic movies or skinwalker creep-up scenes, where the monster creeps up on you before you get the adrenaline rush of the day to run away. On a final note, if IMDb rates this film as an 8.5 out of 10, I would rate this as a solid 8 out of 10. I loved the marvelous editing, how you never really saw the eerie enemy hunting the hunter, which was spooky in its own way, and I absolutely loved the adrenaline I got from watching that film. And I enjoyed how the plot has the possibility of leading to a sequel film that's equally, if not more so, well done and finely produced. I was such a fan of A Hollow Tree that I am so willing to read anything or watch anything that Cathal Fitzpatrick produces, whether in the literary world or in the film industry. I loved it. I want to read more books like it. I want to watch more movies like A Hollow Tree, and I would love to hear your recommendations in the comments below. So let's get chatting. I would love to talk to you, everyone across the world, about this film. Let's jump right into a conversation. Anyway, that's about it for today. So if you enjoyed today's video, come back next week for Movie Mondays, which I will probably have a movie to review for you. If not, you can always wait for TV Show Tuesdays or Wacky Karen Wednesdays, or Flashback Fridays, where I discuss something from my past that I find absolutely hilarious or coincidental, even though I don't believe in coincidences. Or just come back when I upload my next video, because I am here to stay on my YouTube channel, and I would love to share more of my thoughts and opinions with you on books and movies and otherwise. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.